Hi guys, my name is Prashad. Okay, in this video we will discuss about what is Git and what is GitHub. Okay, what is Git and what is GitHub and why it is used and where it is used, how much popular it is, and we will cover everything in this video. Okay, firstly, firstly we have to know what is Git and GitHub. Okay, Git is nothing but a version control system. Then another question will be raised in our mind that what is a version control system? Okay, in simple words, I can explain in real-time example when in the real industry, IT industry, in one project, there are many developers will be work and there are many testers will be work. Okay, each member will work in individual computer only, individual PCs only. Okay, what happens when someday when the rain will come and uh, system will be corrupted or anything will be happen? Then what about the client project? And what about the coded you have coded in the project? Okay, their need should be a backup. Okay, there need should be a backup where when these strategies tragedies will be happen, then our code will be safely available. And another problem will be there when accidentally code gets deleted, then how it will be? Who knows? Okay. And when multiple team members will work on the same code, it needs to be managed properly. Okay, it needs to be managed properly. Then then we use the version control system for this. Okay, and there are some version control systems as Git, SVN, and ClearCase. Okay, most of us use as Git. And one, the question will be raised in our mind is when more than one member working on the project, how they manage the project. Okay, if now if one feature is building by one developer and another developer also assigned with the same feature, then the both developers will work for the feature, same feature. Then who knows when the developer one is uh, modifying the same code and the developer two also modifying the same code to build the feature. Okay. In this sprint, the developers will work together. Okay. And developers should not override each other's code. Working on the one feature, there might be many problems will occur. Many problems will occur. Okay. And every change made by the developer should be traced. There should be a trace for every change made by the developer. And what happens when they accidentally deletes the code? Okay. You can revert back to the previous work and discard latest. Okay. For this working by using Git, it will be explained by the end-to-end working process of IT. Okay. And when the spring starts, the developer should know the how to code the project and how to test the code. Okay, those areas will be covered. And when the five developers are working in a team and in one project, there will be a sprint planning meeting also. 10 features will should complete in sprint one. Then the five developers will be members of the planning meeting. Okay, parallelly, developers means all five developers are supposed to modify the same project. Okay, all five developers are supposed to modify the same project. They might have to make changes to same classes. Okay. End of sprint, the end of the sprint, the five developers code and 10 features should be fully available in our project. In our project means in their project. I am repeating, guys. End of the sprint of all five developers, 10 features should be fully available in their project. So there should be raised two questions, means how. Before that, I have to explain you guys with one example. Okay, see, when three features is developed by the three different developers, it is our main project. Okay, in our main project there is a controller, my controller. There is a my controller. Okay, in the my controller there is a method one. There should be developed some features with the developers. Okay, the I want the final output as in my controller. There should be method 1, method 2, method 3, and method 4. Okay, the final code would should be go to the production. Before that, the developers will distribute their feature, their task to develop each feature. Okay, Mike, they divide the my controller into three, as one developer will work on method one and method two, and in another controller the developer will work in method one and method three, and another developer also work on method one, method four. What happens and how they merge the code and how they trace the editing and how they trace the modified code by another developer, how they communicate each other, there will be a big problem. Okay, there will be a big problem. So then the version control system will comes into the picture. Okay, this is the entire process where the Git is well structured. Okay, in this, you will visible as a main integration branch, feature, bug fix branch, prod, production, UAT. These all things. Before we discuss about this process, I have to say there should be two questions that we have that it is raised in our mind. One is how entire branch management works and how you work with individual branch. These two will be raised in our mind. Okay, these two will be raised in our mind. One, entire and how entire branch management will work, and how you work with individual branch. Okay, how you work with individual branch. For that, see guys, here we are taking our main project as my first tab project as a main project. Then we have to deploy in the main branch. It is nothing but also called as master branch also. Okay, we have to copy the code from the branch. Okay, we have to copy the code from the main branch to the integration branch. This is nothing but the child of the main branch. Means we have to cut the integration branch from the main branch. Okay, then what is about the feature branch? We have to develop the code in the feature branch only. Then we have to cut the feature branch from the integration branch. Okay, there are some few branches. I have to say there are some few branches like we have discussed now why we need branches. The main branch is the main code is contains in the main branch, and we will replicate this main branch into the integration branch. Why? Because The integration branch cuts as a feature branches and work these branches where the work will complete. When the work will complete, the feature is built, then they will merge the code into this integration branch. After the merging the code in this integration branch, then it goes to the testing environment. Okay. Why these branches will be used means it is used for the separation for the code to assign the work for the individual feature developer. Okay, that's why the branches will be used. So we discussed about why we need branches, and then there will be a few branches like main and master branch. Main branch is nothing but also called as the master branch, and there is another branch is called as integration branch, and another branch is called as feature branch, and another branch is called as bug fix branch, and another branch is called as hot fix branch, and another also has release branch. Okay, but in this video we will cover about these three main branches: main and master branch, integration branch, and feature branch. Okay, we will cover about these three. First, from main branch, from main branch we have to cut the integration. First, we have to cut the integration branch. After that, in integration branch, from integration branch, we have to cut the feature branch. We have to cut the feature branch. Okay, we have to cut the feature branch. In this feature branch, the developers will develop the feature. Okay, during the sprint, guys, listen carefully. During the sprint, whenever a developer is starting to work on a new feature, developer need to cut a new feature branch from integration branch. Okay, one point is clear. What? During the sprint, whenever a developer is starting to work on new feature and developer need to cut a new feature, need to cut a new feature branch from integration branch. Once look at here, guys. Cut the feature branch uh, during okay during the sprint. Whenever a developer is starting to work on a new feature, developer need to cut a new feature branch from integration branch. So then we have cutted the feature branch. Okay. Then after we have to cut the feature branch. And the entire I have already said the entire feature coding in feature branch. Feature branch. And the feature coding is will be in feature branch. Okay. After that, uh, we we have to code and test the unit testing in our local machine only. Okay. And another point is I have to say, and we have to test our first level testing also done in our local system only. Okay. And but dev testing will be done in dev environment, which is nothing but the AWS environment. Okay. But here guys, listen carefully. We have to put our entire feature code in feature branch, and then we have to deploy in this AWS dev environment to complete dev testing in the environment. Okay. For this, approach, we have a tool called Jenkins. Where it is used, for this, where it is used to put our entire feature code in feature branch and deploy in AWS dev environment. Okay. For this, we have the tool called the Jenkins. For this, we have the tool called Jenkins, which is automatically put our entire feature code in this AWS dev environment. Okay. Backside here, there is a AWS dev environment. Okay. Means we have to, I have already said, we have to cut the integration branch from the main branch, and then we have to cut the feature branch from the integration branch to develop entire feature code. After the developing the entire feature code, we have to push into the AWS dev environment with the help of Jenkins tool. Okay, in this AWS environment, there will be a AWS environment and dev environment and a database, and similarly there are some AWS and there are some AWS environment such as production environment, UAT environment, AWS QA environment, AWS dev environment. Okay. There are some few AWS environments where it includes dev environment plus database where to store the code. Okay, after the completion of the feature code, it will push to the AWS dev environment where the developers will perform the developing in this and store in the database, and then returns to the to merge in the to merge to the integration branch. Okay, and the AWS QA environment will uh, do by the testers tests only on integration branch. That testers will test on the integration branch, but not your individual feature branch. Okay, not in the individual feature branch. They will test on the integration branch only. And then when the dev testing is completed, I have already said when the dev testing is completed, they will merge the code into this integration branch. They will merge the code the integration branch, and dev raises a pull request. Then the developers will raise a pull request and merge request from feature branch to integration branch. Here 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 the seniors will would review the code and everything, and they will review the code, and if everything is okay, then merge code. Then they merge the code to the integration branch. Okay, then they merge to the code to the integration branch. In the integration branch, code from developer one would be available. Okay, in the feature one, the developer is developed the method one and method two. After the pushing to the integration branch, here there should be available the method one and the method two code also. Okay, the integration branch could be deployed in the AWS QA environment. Then the integration branch is pushed to the AWS QA environment, testing environment, where the testers do the testing in AWS QA environment. Okay, if if QA if QA finds bug, if a tester finds bug in the QA environment, then what happens? Then what happens? Okay, here if QA finds a bug in the AWS QA environment, then what happens? Then in feature branch means in feature branch, developer changes the developer changes the code, test locally, then we have the developer should changes the code and test locally and put the code in the feature branch, in the test feature branch, in the entire feature branch. Okay, deployed in the dev environment and deployed in the dev environment, AWS environment, raises pull request to merge to the integration branch, and after approval code is in integration, then deployed on QA environment. Then the integration batch deployed to the QA environment, and tester retests it, and the tester will be retests it. Then the feature is, if all good, then the feature is ready. Okay, this is one approach, guys. Okay, listen carefully, I am repeating once again. When the developer made a changes in code in feature branch, and after the completion of feature, then he pushes to the feature code to the AWS dev environment. In this AWS dev environment, they perform the testing the locally and with using the database. Then it returns the code and it merges to the integration branch. Then the AWS development will merges the code to the integration branch. After the merging the code to the integration branch, the before that there will be a senior developer who reviews the code, and if all good, then we will merge to the integration branch. After that, integration branch will push the code to the AWS dev environment. After the integration branch will push the code to the AWS dev environment. In this, the tester will be test the feature code here, and if they find any bug in this, then they return to the future. Okay, then the developer should make changes again. Then there should be two approaches for this developer. One approach is the developer should changes the code and test locally and put the code to the feature branch again and deploy in the AWS dev environment and then raises the pull request to merge to integration, and code after approval code is in the integration. Okay, then after deployed on the QA environment and tester QA retests it. Then the tester will be retests it, and if all good, then the feature is ready. This is one approach, and there is another approach. Uh, when the tester will find the bug in it, then the developer should cut the bug fix branch from the integration branch. Then the developer of the feature one will cut a bug fix branch from the integration branch, and developer will changes the code and test locally, put the code into the bug fix branch, put the code to the bug fix branch instead of pushing to the AWS dev environment. He will put the code in the bug fix branch and deploy it in the dev environment and raises pull request to match the integration. After approval, the code is in integration. Deployed on the QA environment, then again it will deploy to the QA environment and the tester will be retests it. If it is called all good, then the feature is ready. Okay, then the feature is ready. This is another approach. These are the two basic approaches. Okay, from to do, in progress, and QA done. On daily basis, every developer is supposed to down merge integration branch changes to your feature branch. Okay, in our daily basis, every developer is supposed to down merge to the integration branch. Conflict. When multiple developers, another word it's came as con conflict. When multiple devs are modi- modifying same piece of code, then conflict conflict happens. As a developer you need to make sure, okay, to make sure. Sorry guys, I have said a wrong sentence. When multiple developers are modifying same piece of code, then conflict happens. Then conflict happens. Okay, conflict will happens. As a developer, as a developer, you need to manually resolve these conflicts, guys. As a developer, you need to manually resolve the conflicts by discussing with other developers. What is the solution for this? You you have to manually resolve these conflicts by discussing with others developers. Okay, others developers. This is the solution for this. And what is the scenario of after conflict? What is the scenario? You need to make sure the features of developer 1 is also working and the features of developer 2 is also working. Okay, after the conflict, you need to make sure the features of developer 1 is also working and features of developer 2 also working. Make sure it guys, okay? Make sure. Make sure that developer 1 feature is also working and developer 2 feature also will be working. Okay. And another means when multiple developers want to deploy on dev environment, there is a risky. Yes, you had it right. When multiple developers want to deploy on dev environment, then there is a risky that you might override each other's code. There is a possibility. So coordinate with other members and ensure only one guy is testing at the time. Guys, I am repeating and I am mentioning here also when multiple developers want to deploy on dev environment, they, there is a risky, obviously, that you might override each each other code, each other code. So coordinate with 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 other members and making sure only only one guy is testing at a time. See, guys, this is the solution. Okay, conflict. When multiple developers are when mul when multiple developers are modifying same piece of code, then conflicts happens obviously as a developer. So the solution is you have to manually resolve these conflicts by discussing with other developers. This is the main point. Okay, after conflict, this is before conflict. Then what happens after conflict? Then you need to make sure the features of developer one is also working as the features are developed also working. When multiple developers are want to deploy on the same development, then there will be a risky. So then you might override each other code. So coordinate with other members and make ensure only one guy is testing at the time. Okay, this is the solution for this. This is the solution for this. Okay, the Git code is deployed on the same some cloud provider. We already know. providing the some cloud provider. One is a GitHub and another is Git bucket. Okay, most we use the Bitbucket. Rather, both also will be used. Okay, nothing much more different. Okay, this is the process where the entire branch management will be work. But another question will be raised: how you work with individual branch? This will be discussed with the technical only guys, hand on only. We cannot we cannot explain through like theoretically. Okay, this session, this in this video, we will cover only theoretically of the what is Git and GitHub. Okay, theoretically discussed, but while seeing how this code is managed and how the individual branch is managed, how this main branch is cut into the integration branch, and how is the integration branch is cut into the feature branch, and how it is deployed, and how the code is performing, how the changes are performing, how we merge, and how to commit, how to add everything, how to add this code to the cloud provider. Everything we will discuss as an hand-on practice only, then you will get a clarity on this. Okay, in this video we only discussed about the Git and GitHub with the theoretical functionally, how the functionally the project will be taken care by the cloud provider. Okay, in another video I will discuss these three two topics again, and we will discuss hand-on practically, and you will get a clarity on this. Okay, this is the overview of Git and GitHub functionally, where the code is managed, how it is managed. Okay, okay, guys. Thank you.